All right, guys, what's up? Welcome to episode 6. That's right, we are really trudging along here and we are moving along to the next. Today is a pretty interesting episode. I love to read. And one of the things that caught my eye about our next guest is that he is an author of his book called Depression is Painful. So today we're going to dive into the world of depression and a near-death life experience as well from our guest today. So this is going to be a very, very interesting session. Please welcome Mr. Salim Satori. How are you, sir?
Thank you, Vinod. Thank you.
Yeah.
Round of applause to my friend here, Vinod, for giving me this great opportunity to talk about this very important subject.
Yeah.
I'm good. This is like a shot of serotonin up, So
Okay.
I'm so excited to share this very
me too.
important. I want to be bubbly, I want to be lively, but at the
Please
same
be.
time, I want to talk about a very important, urgent topic.
Okay,
Yeah.
of course, and we can't wait to get into
Yeah.
that. But before we get into the topic of depression, let's get to know you first.
Yeah.
Who were you? You were talking to me earlier on about a near-death experience with depression.
Yeah.
But who were you before? Who were you before that?
Wow, this is a question that a lot of people don't ask. Only bila anda berjumpa orang yang bijak, he always asks the right question.
Taklah begitu bijak.
Quick one. I was in corporate training for 14 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I was doing corporate training. Going out. I'm a people person. Like
Okay.
you. Go out, do corporate training, leadership management. I'm also a certified trainer for the Brunei government.
Okay.
So leadership management, middle management, junior, and all the way. Training programs. and
Okay,
conferences.
okay.
So my home was always at the airport. My second home. Every month, 3 or 4 times I fly.
Okay.
I've never in KL. Sometimes Seremban, Melaka, Johor Bahru, Kota Baru, all that.
Okay,
Training.
okay.
For 14 years.
Okay.
I was doing corporate. I read a lot. I have a collection of 600-700 books. I'm
My
a reader.
goodness. Okay.
A leader is a reader. So what happened? Here comes lockdown. COVID-19 lockdown.
Okay.
So what happened? When started lockdown, all employees were working from home.
Okay.
They started to work from home. They work and I thought the first year 2020 the COVID will start to abate, but it did not. They mutated into so many types. Delta,
Yes.
many.
Yes, it went on for about
variant.
2 years.
Yes,
Yeah,
2 years.
yeah.
So I thought by June after Raya things will get better. Then I said, okay, after Raya maybe I look forward for Deepawali. Things didn't improve. In 2020, you believe or not, I have zero income.
Yeah, me too.
Totally,
I was in the same
yeah.
boat. Yeah.
Talking to the right person.
Yeah, me too.
So, dia macam I can mix a bit little Malay.
Boleh.
So, what happened? I was feeling dark already, feeling hopeless. By year 2020, I thought December will October will improve. It got worse. I used to wake up 4 a.m. in the morning because I'm an outside guy, Go out, meet people. Now I'm locked down at home. And most companies, they want to do soft skill training. They say we only focus technical.
Yeah.
Soft skill training, say example, if I want to do coaching, I cannot do via online because I need to do physical coaching. Coaching, one-to-one coaching. I want to see you how you work, how you plan. Presentation skill. How do I want to see you prepare before you do a presentation? Yeah. So all that start to eat me inside. I was 49. So I don't know, it started to eat inside. I'm feeling dark days. What are you going to? So of course the moratorium did help, but the moratorium was our money. We have to delay payment. Then I said, okay, maybe 2021 things improve. I did manage to get a couple of training online, but still we were under lockdown. It got worse and worse. I would wake up 4 a.m. pacing the house, panic attack. My wife was sleeping. I was panic attack. I don't know what happened. Something was wrong, really. I feel dark. I have lost all pleasure in life. You see, hedonia is a word for pleasure. Pleasure of basic things like drinking coffee, cuddling a cat or a dog or a hamster. I lost all pleasures, and nobody knows around me. You know what happened? So, as I get few training programs, got worse by June, July, and it got worse and worse because not enough programs. I start losing weight. I cannot think straight because depression. I was already clinically depressed. Then one day on November 2021, this is the photo of me in front. I can show you. I took a snapshot of my photo. This is me. Can you see? Can you see how it looks contrast?
Okay.
I took a photo. I told my wife, take me to the clinic. Why? On November 2021, after 2 years, depression first, dia kacau kepala tau. Second, body. My body became stiff, like something like Keras tau, keras macam batu tau, keras. I told my wife, today I'm going to get a heart attack. This is the end. You know, this lagu dos. This is the end. So I thought, oh! I said, very painful. I told my wife, they send the key to the, because I cannot think straight.
Okay.
I cannot think straight anymore. Went to see the doctor. Doctor, I think I had a heart attack. She looked at me. Thank God the GP was professional. Because the doctor must diagnose, right? She said, what happened to you? I've been jobless for 2 years. Every day I cry. Every day I cry. And true, 2 bulan sebelum saya pergi treatment, I will just cry. Go to the shopping mall, I cry. Non-stop crying.
Why?
Because depression leads that to that level. You non-stop cry without no reason. I cry, I just cry. And I started to cry. You're clinically depressed. You know what the doctor said? I couldn't believe you're still alive. 2 years clinically. Just imagine the suffering. She told me, go for Prozac. That's why in my book, focus on science. Depression you cannot describe. Either you get it. It's just like cancer. You cannot see it, but it metastasize inside. So she told me, go for Prozac. You know Prozac. There's a treatment. Zoloft, Prozac.
The antidepressant.
Antidepressant.
Right? Yeah.
So there's no other treatment. Psychotherapy cannot help. During panic attack, dear Vinod, you can do psychotherapy, talk therapy. Talk therapy in the mind. Depression in the brain. Depression is like that. Dua benda tau. First thing to take care of the brain, bang. Because the brain, under pressure, the brain changes. There's a certain part of the brain, like hippocampus change under severe acute stress. So it is something like that. Let me show you. Contoh, kajian dibuat. The research have shown. Let me say I put a, let's say this is a rat. Yeah, this is not a real rat or frog, but I'm using let's consider this one a rat. Ini macam ni, letak dalam aquarium. Satu kata, it looks like drunk, no? No animal has been hurt while this program. No?
That's right, we are very animal friendly.
So, dia macam ni, Dr. Gabo Mate, a Hungarian, Canadian psychologist, he said, the depression macam ni, kalau you letak, if you keep the rat inside an aquarium, you just do like that for a while. Not directly, the pressure, the rat will experience stress.
Okay.
But if you do, for 1 week, the rat will die. Depression is something hitting you 24/7. I cannot control. Something hitting me. That's why it leads to suicide. Untreated depression leads to suicide.
Okay.
So when the doctor told me, take the Prozac, within 10 days, the drumming was over.
Okay, what does Prozac do?
Okay, people have wrong. You know why people don't go for treatment in Asia?
Why?
Because research has shown the epidemic of depression is now in Asia, no more in Western country. In Western country, they talk about it. I've done my research. Because stigma, taboo.
Of course.
We can know what is sadness, we know what is grief. But depression is something else. You don't even know what it is. You lost all pleasure. Now, Prozac this like that. Prozac, we are a bunch of chemicals. In my book, I talk about chemicals. We are chemical. There's certain neurotransmitters are not firing because of the acute stress. Acute stress. Depression happens because acute stress due to losses.
Okay.
Many reasons you can get depression. I lost my income. I tried to fight. Loss. You try to cope with the loss, it doesn't happen. So you collapse. You freeze. Depression can happen postpartum.
After giving
most
birth.
ladies, they have that. Many ladies, they have.
Many people. And that's very dangerous.
They're dangerous because biological change. Old age, you're taking a lot of medication. Sexual abuse, child abuse, whatever it is. Genetic, epigenetics, historical. Many reasons you can fall to. 1001 reason. That's why it is very hard to diagnose. So what Prozac does is that you feel the side effect for the first 10 days. That's why people have the perception, Prozac, kalau you ambil Prozac, you ketagih. Salah. It is not LSD. It is not ketamine. It is not shabu. Shabu is ketagih. Prozac, you get the side effect first before you get well. And within 10 days...
What is the side effects of Prozac?
Simple. Nausea, feeling groggy, feeling high.
Okay.
But you feel relaxed. You have no more the tong something hitting you.
Okay.
Because depression is like that. He hits the brain and you're no more eating right. Because every chemical that you have, you produce in the body, in the stomach. Serotonin, GABA, glutamate, endorphin. These are the chemicals you need. Because under stress, maybe you cannot process well. Under stress, depletion, you're no more eating well. So serotonin, what they do is that, Prozac, they increase the level of serotonin. Serotonin is a mood stabilizer. You really need that. So it brings back the stability. Of course, in a very synthetic way. There are bound to be side effects. Your body is adjusting. But within 10 days, you're able, it works for 80%. Now, people ask me, I have seen educated people, jangan makan ubat, nanti ketagih. Educated people. The problem is this. What are the side effects of depression? Many, correct? But one of the side effects of depression, untreated, you kill yourself.
Of course.
You will kill yourself. Because today I have empathy. That's why in my topic, I got a cover on, is suicide an option?
Okay.
It's a complete. Why they commit suicide? Now I know. People who commit suicide are not covered. They've been fighting the battle alone. Nobody came for them. That's why the pain is a runaway train. The body is sending a wrong message. Stop it. But it's telling you to do the wrong thing. Your cognition underwater. You cannot think straight. You're no longer rational because the brain. So what do you do? The Prozac treats the brain part. The neurotransmitter, the synapses, the chemicals fire right. After that, once you get better, we do the mind therapy, psychotherapy, because brain got two, brain and mind. Why the mind is distorted? Because the brain is physical. Mind, nobody know where it begins and ends. So I collapsed. Then near that experience, and the doctors told me, took the medication. Then I was able to get better. Now what happened was, my only friend, almost everybody ran away. My only friend, Gobinathan Manikam, my guardian angel. I want to give him a kiss. My only friend. Gobinathan, he's a lecturer at APO.
Okay.
Who stood with me, he saw everything, supported me and my wife and my kids. That's my wife and kid. My wife and kids saw everything.
Okay.
He told me, Salim, why don't you tell your story? I said, apa saya nak tulis? You're a management consultant. You used to write articles. Write something, Salim. I don't know what to write. Tell your experience about suffering, depression. Because today I'm going to write about depression. People are going to say, they're going to stigmatize me. Tapi I'm the most honest person in many circles because I honestly told my story.
This topic does bring with it a lot of stigma.
Because I'm brave today.
Yeah.
The best part, when I talk to Europeans, they will tell me, Salim, brave of you. Because you talk about it, I want to help people in Asia. So he told me, write the story. And nobody know. I did not even tell my wife and kid when I was writing the book. Because when I used to have 4 p.m. panic attack, 4 a.m. panic attack, now I wake up 4:30 a.m. This time around, I open my laptop to write the book. I created many topics about...
So writing the book was sort of a therapeutical process in itself.
Therapeutic, and I had no choice because it was no more motivation. It was pure discipline. Because even 2022, when I started to write, the end of November 2021, after 10 days, I decided to write. I collect all the data, the scrapbook one. I said, I have to write the book because my training did not pick up even 2022. I have a couple of trainings. So it kept me going. My wife asked me, why are you still opening laptop doing research? Nobody calls you. It's a fact. Nobody do soft skills training. I said, no problem. I'm just doing research. I love to read. But I was writing the book. And today the book is ready. You can see the book. We have covered all business essential. I talk about Prozac. I talk about what is mental fog and feeling spaced out. There is no such thing, blessing as disguise. The salvaging positive impact of antidepressant. And can you see the neurotransmitters? I also talk about this. And the future corporate training. I talk about Anthony Bourdain. Depression is not sadness. And also I talk about what are negative thoughts. I'm also promoting clinical psychologists because we need more than that. Malaysia, we lack clinical psychologists. That's why today, untreated depression will lead to suicide. The suicide cases that we have in this country, usually because of untreated depression. Untreated depression. Because they've been depressed for too long. You don't know what to do. There's a stigma of society. Now, 4 types of orang saya akan jumpa. Kenapa mereka tak faham? The educated one, the very, very educated one, you know what they say? Salim, you shouldn't take the antidepressant. I say, why? Ketagih. I say, ini bukan daun ketum. Ini bukan LSD. Ini bukan ganja. Ini antidepressant. Dia punya kesan dia memang kesan buruk dia datang dulu sebelum jadi baik. Macam mana bila kata, this is the educated people. The Asian, If I talk to second girl is the kolot people. You know kolot. They don't believe and they believe. Ada kata kat I, you know, dia kata, you dirasuk toyol. I said, toyol masuk ke mana? Lubang telinga saya yang besar atau lubang hidung saya yang besar ni? Jesus! Wow! How about that? Dia kena masuk toyol. Dia kena masuk hantu. I said, hantu ke mana dia masuk? I said, kau banyak baca mastika dan bercakap dengan jin. Kau betul lah. I love. Oh,
wow, that's
really?
a very Malaysian explanation for that.
Yeah. Because I come from Western. That's why. The third one is the Budget Alim.
What is Budget Alim?
Budget Alim, religious people.
Oh, okay.
Biasalah, kita kena uji. Orang dulu lagi teruk kena uji. Biasalah uji. Hang kena uji, nanti sana dapat istana. Istana menanti.
Oh, okay.
Istana menanti.
In the afterlife. Okay.
I tahu istana Seri menanti kat Negeri Sembilan.
Bukan.
Tapi dia kata macam tu. Yang orang-orang macam PhD ni, kolot dengan yang Budget Alim, dia tak turun tengok you. Yang golongan yang keempat saya jumpa adalah educated, scientific, especially orang Eropah atau American. Dia kata, Salim, go for treatment. Gobinathan Manikam didn't even tell me that. And as another group of people told me what? I'm a management consultant. Salim, buka bonet jual nasi lemak. Boleh sementara bang. Tapi saya management consultant. You know, sementara. You tak ada ke no-brainer solution? Ada yang kata bawa Grab. Grab bagus, banyak membantu rakyat. Betul tak? Food Panda.
Of course.
Betul. Sekarang Food Panda pun nampak cute. Dulu lain macam, sekarang dah ada macam nampak macam Amber Chia Food Panda. Cute. Sebab dia kita yang semakin gemuk, dia kurus. Kan nampak tak? Very cute, very fluffy, very a lot of money. Now, but they're very helpful. Now, you jangan cakap dengan saya macam ni. I'm an educated man. Gobi never told me to sell nasi lemak. How can I force myself tell my wife to sell nasi lemak? Betul? I must. For sementara boleh. But thank God my wife so creative. She started selling marble cake in the meantime.
Okay.
So it's so.
I want to also look at. I think one of the things about depression and mental issues, mental health, is that one of the things that is also not talked about is how the family deals with it.
Okay.
Right? How the family deals with it. I think it's also like for example, like for myself, many years back when I was very, very young, I had my late grandfather had cancer. Right? And while in these kind of topics, a lot of people tend to focus on the person having cancer or having any ailments, the family goes through a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
How did your wife, your daughter, your family take to the fact that you were clinically depressed?
Okay. It's a very important question. See, depression, nobody knew. I didn't know. That's why when someone comes and tell me I was depressed, if somebody come and tell you he is depressed, first question you're going to ask, how do you know? I know, wrong. The doctor must diagnose you, a professional doctor. 5 signs, they must meet 5 criteria to confirm you are having depression. There are many types. Mild depression, severe, moderate depression. I had MDD, major depressive disorder, or call it melancholia.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Melancholic. Okay.
It's true. That's why I say, bila seorang tu depressed, the whole family affected.
Of course.
For me, just imagine, makan ubat in the same time fikir nak cari makan untuk family. I tak ada masa nak mati. I cannot afford to die. I took the medicine, still sending email. You know, I stopped talking to people after that because when the Prozac helped me, I started writing the book. People all walked out. Society, there's a dilemma. So that's why the family. Before I got depression, of course, I have these arguments with my wife for no reason. Because you're going to get just angry. You snap like that. Because you are very raw inside. You're beaten to a pulp. You're very sensitive. That's why when someone goes through a severe depression, one of the reasons why I wrote this book, kita tak nak sampai orang jadi macam ni. We know. Kita kena stop dia. In the first place, kenapa sampai dia depressed? Baru you nak ambil tahu.
Correct.
Sekarang I have to live with it. There is no full recovery. Now, someone who goes through depression like me, I'm no longer the same person. That's why you can see, black glasses, Satori. My real name was something different. Why I put Satori is a Japanese name for enlightenment. It's a Buddhist Japanese. Satori, he reached a change, man, awakening. Because depressed people, they really see life. Cancer patient, they see life. So now, very important is that when the family member is depressed, you see, you go and see the doctor. If you go and see the shrink, the doctor gives you a tablet. Every 30 days, you must visit the doctor. 6 months usually minimum. When the doctor gives you a tablet, he cannot solve your problem. The underlying cause I went into depression because I cannot put food on the table. Dear Vinod.
Yeah, that's the...
So now the problem is still there.
Yeah.
So what I need to do is that if I tell doctor I still don't have job, doctor cannot help. I'm here to give you antidepressant. So now the question is that when I go back, the family must change to support the depressed family member.
Of course.
Not that ask the depressed person and say, why are you no like that? Kenapa bukan macam dulu? Kita kena nyanyi lagu SM Salim. Dulu lain, sekarang lain. Dulu bujang, sekarang dah kahwin. Betul tak? Give me a 10, man. You know what I'm saying? So, today I'm a changed person. I have more empathy, but I'm no longer the same Salim. My family must accept. Not the same Salim. It's not the same. That means someone who is wild or what. No. I went through the worst thing in life for 2 years. I didn't know I was suffering. I didn't know. Everybody around me told me, have faith. You can see. They do not understand depression. Have faith, patient. This is the difficult thing. Because the philosophy of my book satu saja, suffering. Depression is one of the worst suffering a man can go through.
Okay.
So they interviewed one American. They say, I don't mind getting other suffering, but I don't want to get depressed. Because depression is a 24/7 suffering, psychological. That's why we have to find a way to end suffering. So what is suffering? Who can suffer? You and I can suffer. Topi ni tak boleh suffer. Cermin mata Arnold Schwarzenegger ni tak boleh suffer.
Tak boleh.
Tetapi saya yang pakai cermin mata, topi ni, yang gunakan mic ni tak boleh suffer. Dia boleh suffer. That's an ethical question kami. So how can we end suffering? Only through science. Not hocus pocus.
Yes, I completely understand. But I just want to go into a topic of depression. Why is this? This is a new topic.
Yeah.
In the sense that previously, if you look at the 70s, 80s, you go to generations before baby boomers and all, I'm sure people had episodes of depression and all that. Why has it become such a unconquerable, the word is unconquerable state of mind? Yes. Why now has this become like that?
Very good question. Now, according to Dr. Yuval Noah Harari, he has written 3 books, Sapiens, Homo Deus, and 21st Lesson. He said the 21st century is a century of stress.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Now, if you look at 70s, we don't have many, we were used to live simple life. Our ancestors, our hunter-gatherer ancestors, they have better lives. We are today...
Cleaner lives.
Cleaner life.
Yeah.
We look at today, we are Homo sapiens today, we are still evolving. We are looking for more and more. More and more. That's why the 21st century, with so much expectation, with so much technology, but we are not the happiest. If you go back to your grandmother's time, to my grandmother, they have simple lives, but they were happy.
Yeah,
they were happy.
True.
Why we have everything? You can look at people driving big cars, they are not smiling. There are people with gadgets, they are not even smiling. They don't know what's happening to the next person. Well-being has not been met because today, the age is just about catching up. Keeping up with the Jonases. So that's why depression can also happen because expectation to be like somebody else. Teenagers are having depression. University students are committing suicide. Why? Because we expect, why you are not like him? Why you are like this? Comparison creates depression. And also second thing, many reasons, the diets that we are having. The internet lifestyle. Lady Gaga said the internet is the toilet. Or social media. So the internet, what are we talking about it? So those days, they might have depression. But every depression got episode. Beginning, the middle, and the end. They already depression. But today, it become more apparent because the only thing we cannot see, because people use the word depressed, just like over cliche. Example, they say, I feel so, some people will say, I'm so depressed today. What happened? The coffee machine didn't start.
Okay.
Actually, you meant I'm disappointed. The coffee machine. But the word has been used because depression is not something that you can use lightly. I met a very educated lady. She was giving a talk. Okay, today we'll be a bit late, so don't be depressed. She said like that. Don't be depressed. Huh? I pergi ambil buku dia, kau tahu tak apa kau cakap ni? Dia cakap macam, Cik, don't be depressed. She laugh. Hello macam, apa ni? Depression, jangan main-main. You tak boleh just cakap. I said, one lady even told me, I met a Fraser Hill, I buka boot kat Fraser Hill. Dia kata, depression, dia gelak. Kau apa nak depress? naik bukit, turun bukit, hilang. Depression, you cannot snap in and out, dear Vinod. It is a lingering sadness, dark abyss. It's a rabbit hole with no end, Vinod. You need treatment. You are no longer able to communicate.
Just for the sake of playing devil's advocate here, you say that depression is something whereby you need treatment.
Yeah.
There's a science to it, right? Yeah. Fair enough. But is that the only answer? One of the things, and this is just, please correct me if I'm wrong. One of the things I notice now is people live very sedentary lives.
Yes, true.
Very sedentary lives with the gadgets, social media, and all this. People have become very afraid of taking chances, taking risks, stepping out of their comfort zone. In fact, a study has shown that people nowadays prefer communicating on WhatsApp as opposed to making a phone call.
You are right.
You know, and that blows my mind, because when it's so easy to connect to someone, you don't want to connect. You know, in fact, like at work, sometimes I'm so annoyed that I have to make a appointment with you to call you when I can just, hey, what's up? You know, this was back then.
Yeah.
And then also to build on that topic of what you're talking about, there's this book called Click. I don't know whether you've read it. Yeah. Very nice book on psychology as well. And in this book, they make a comparison of how there were almost zero suicides during times of war, because and they were using Japan as a case study, as opposed to now when suicides are so prevalent, they even have a suicide forest in Japan.
Yes,
right.
Yeah,
and they say that the reason this is because back in times of calamity, in times of war, human beings bond together.
Yeah.
And it's that bonding that actually makes us healthier.
Right, true.
Whereas now in developed countries, you have phone, you have such a lifestyle, you don't really get a chance to, connecting with people is not there.
True.
Right?
True.
So could that also be a reason why suicide and depression, let's talk about suicide first, but depression has become such a problem, is because people just don't connect anymore.
It's very, very true, because in many ways, because you see, we are living artificial lives.
Yes.
With AI, now they say AI by 2028, AI will be a bigger strike. We're going to have job losses coming in the future. Now, because of the pandemic, people have become more isolated. The introvert have become more introverted. The extroverted are really affected because they really, they want to meet people. There are many reasons before you can fall to depression. One is the thing that people consume a lot. They consume and they regurgitate a lot. They consume, they watch TV, and also the diet. Exercise help. Exercise. You need to do exercise because vitamin D is the biggest serotonin producer in your body. Exercise changes your mood. You are able to fight that.
Yeah.
Social relationship builds like dopamine. Dopamine. Oxytocin is built. Just an example, I give a talk like that. My endorphins goes up, my oxytocin, because we are just
human bonding drug.
Yeah, human. If you look at Africa those days, if you see in Africa, the mothers will carry the baby to the field. In Africa, the baby will be behind, macam back, belakang. Later, when they check the babies, they notice that the babies have bigger size, bigger head. Because why? With the mother.
So constantly in touch.
They touch, bigger, healthier. Yeah. Here, today people are not even talking to people because we are social. We are mammalians. Mammals are social creatures. They need to work together.
Correct.
We have known, if you look at animals, they have a partner. So the issue is that's one of the reasons this internet had created an epidemic of isolation. In Japan, you're right. They have the hikikomori. It's a place that when you feel useless, you go somewhere and die. It is very shocking in Japan. They're doing that. But you're very hard to find in a Western society. You just die off, hikikomori. So Japan has been supposed to be a very organized country where you fight till the end. Many reasons, and social, because you see, in depression, sometimes the depressed person have no one to talk to. I was lucky. Sometimes I cannot talk to my wife. My wife already suffering. How to talk? This guy will pick up the phone call at 2, 3 a.m. He had his challenges. But he pick up the phone call and listen to me, man. Gobinathan virtually saved my life, my friend. Until today, he said, just listen, once a week, he'll meet me 2 weeks one time. Just go to Starbucks, just listen, hold my hand. He had a choice to walk away.
Yeah.
He tell me to tell my story, Salim. Tell my story, and I told my story and relationship. And many times during my struggling, I want to connect to people. People refuse to connect. I always tell people, Dalam Islam kita kata musibah. Silaturahim ni, we know paling baik adalah ketika orang ditimpa musibah.
What is musibah mean?
Musibah means misfortune or calamity.
Okay.
In the Quran, it's a chapter, Surah Al-Zariyat. He say, help the beggar and the people who have fallen into misfortune. Beggar, he asks money direct to you. Beggar, he's asking. Someone misfortune could be a person like me, a professional. Someone, a kind person, someone who had money, but he fallen. Help. What Jesus say? Love thy neighbor. During the pandemic, ada dua golongan. You know, we raised the white flag. Dalam buku I cerita pasal bendera putih. Do you notice during pandemic ada white flag?
Yes, the white flag.
White flag. You see, white flag. White flag. I raised the flag 2020 and 2021. White flag marks first time in history Malaysia, kita raise white flag. Sebab a father cannot put the food on the table. Not easy for other. I got no more food. They are B40s. Many people, M40s have fallen into B40. Like me, I'm a B40 now. From M40, B40. So the question is, a society today, we must bond together. If you don't push everything to the government on the macro side, say example, if I follow what Jesus Christ and Muhammad says, love thy neighbor, I take care of 40 neighbors, nobody will be poor. There will be two group of people. Satu group duduk kat rumah, income ada. Satu group macam saya, macam barber, macam consultant semua, wedding planner, mereka duduk rumah, income tak ada. Sebab not everything you can do online. I have to agree with you. I will agree with you. One of the reasons you can fall into depression because the relationship is not there. We are making relationship with artificial alien. AI is considered an alien. We are building relations. They don't have the touch, the connection.
Yeah, no more.
People go to shops. They don't even open. They don't even talk. Family sitting with all have a phone. They are playing games.
Yep.
If
I
you don't
find it so annoying. Yeah, that's why like one of the things that I am very against, even in my own house, no phones are allowed at tables. My young daughter has not used a phone.
No, your daughter's name?
Adia.
Adia, you have how many kids?
One.
My daughter also, Jemima. Adia, how old she is?
One. Turn one.
Okay.
So even from the time she was born, I always, no matter even if I become the villain in the household, I do not let her even see a phone. When she grabs a phone, I scold her because I was at a shop once. This was when I was single. I wasn't married yet, and I was packing food for lunch, and I saw a table next to me of a father and a son. And the son is just sitting there, small boy, just sitting there, just looking at the father, just looking around, while the father has one iPad here and one phone here, both showing look like some Korean series or something. And that made me angry because I can't wait for the time when my daughter can talk. My future children, I want to have conversations with them. I remember growing up, one of the reasons why I could talk, go on stage was because every meal was a conversation. It was a debate. Sometimes we will, my father will get angry at some things we say because we will argue about points, we will talk. And even when I was in college, people used to say, oh, how do you have the ability to think so fast as a response?
Yeah.
No other reason except I sat at tea time, at lunchtime, dinner time, talking to my parents and my uncle, we were all conversation, Now the phone has become where we have to everyone's on their phone.
Yes.
Even during dinner. And one thing, this is why I like Islam and why, in fact, it was after I read a bit of the Quran. I haven't finished it. It's a long book. I think I reached the Surah Al-Baqarah. I think so, yeah.
Wow.
So one of the things that Muslims do, and this is the beauty of it, is in every madrasa, Muslims eat together. Right?
Correct.
And there's a science behind this. That's why Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, I think he had an inclination to this. When there are 3 times in a human body where you release oxytocin, which is a human bonding drug.
True.
Number 1 is when a mother breastfeeds.
Yes.
And the mother and when. Number 2 is sexual climax, when you orgasm. And number 3 is when you eat together.
Yes, true.
So when I heard about this, I was like, okay, no wonder Muslims always eat together.
Yes,
and if you notice in Malaysia, the communities that are very close-knit, which is Malays and Chinese, they have a culture of eating together. That's why you see Chinese, you have the food courts. In the Malay culture, you have the eating with the dulang and all these kind of things.
Yeah.
Whereas at one point in my family, I felt one fellow would be sitting in front of the TV. I said no more. We are all eating together on the dinner. And so that's one thing why I think that also can help people if they just spend more time together.
Right, true.
Right?
You see, it's a building relationship.
Yeah.
Because this is real. You see, that's why you can do extemporaneous talks. That means without any preparation. Because the skill we have today, we want to build relationship.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a song by Coldplay, Let's Talk.
Oh, is that? Okay.
Let's talk. Oh, brother, I'm feeling blue. I'm so scared about the future. I just don't know what to do.
My goodness.
Just
You should go for a karaoke.
Yeah. Suara walaupun macam suara kodok. Tidak malu sama sekali. Cuba. See, the relationship. That's why I got a friend shifted to Argentina. He said, the Spanish culture, the Italian culture, the slow-mo food, they sit down. Even Arabs, they sit down. They sit down, they drink. They eat together, all that. Why? Because it builds relationship. You need to talk. You need to build. But they think it is artificial. The friends they have on the phone is artificial. That's why it is very dangerous. With AI taking over, with ChatGPT coming in soon, we're going to have people, they are more isolated. I told my wife, in the LRT today, you cannot afford to get a heart attack.
Oh, yeah. Because
Everybody is like that. You cannot afford. They will just look at you. Because the bystander effect. If I'm not doing it, why somebody else should do it? The bystander effect is research.
Yeah.
So all that shows that we are not ready. And depression, and many people are depressed because of the parents are not talking. Then, especially Asia. Let me tell you about Asia. It's a taboo to talk about it. You cannot talk about it. If we can destigmatize HIV, we can destigmatize breast cancer, we can talk about male impotence, we can talk about many things, menopause. But why not we destigmatize depression? It's a medical condition that is not your fault. You know, some people say, people who are depressed, cuckoo. We are not crazy. I've written in the book, Robin Williams, high-performing person, committed suicide. Came back. Anthony Bourdain, during his height of his career, committed suicide. Chester Bennington, Lincoln Park, committed suicide. Van Gogh cut his head, his son, suicide.
Yeah.
They actually said Mozart could be having suicide. But in the Western society, they talk and write about it. Here you tell about it. You believe or not, I have a consultant friend, management consultant. We used to work for years. When I showed her the manuscript last year, she told me, hey, Salim, you wrote this book. After that, nobody going to call you for training. Do I look somebody like this to you now, Vino?
No.
On Prozac, use my rationality to write this book. These depressed people could be high-functioning depression. They are highly intelligent people. They contribute. Just a misfortune happened to them. But why I wrote the book? If I follow the Asian mindset, I will never have written the book because I'll think what people think. Because I was reading European philosophy from those days. Voltaire, Bertrand Russell, Jiddu Krishnamurti, Carl Jung, Ernest Hemingway, Charles Bukowski. Because that had influenced me from young age. So tell the story, help others. Isn't it sebaik-baik manusia memberi manfaat pada orang lain? And also one of the reasons is for my daughter. My daughter saw everything. She said, what happened to my father? One day she grew up, she said, oh, now I know what happened to him. Because she saw what happened. And she cannot understand why my father is going through this. Now, at least she grew up and said, my father went through this. Now she cannot understand what is depression. One day is a testimony, and also a testimony for Gobi's children to say, look at my father who stood to Salim beyond. It's nothing to do with race, religion. It's humanity. It's humanity. Today, when I communicated with you, and today we are having a meeting after 3-4 days. Correct. Why? Because you get it. You get it. You know how urgent. And today, they expected 1 or 2% out of 4 will get a depression. That means dalam bilik ni ada 4 orang, you tak dapat, brother tak dapat, sister tak dapat, saya mesti dapat.
Okay.
That means depression, there are no vaccine. It's going to happen in the future. You're going to get more and more because the next wave coming, job losses because of AI. AI will take over. So are we ready? Do we have clinics? Do we need family support? The first step, family must support. What you can see corporation today with toxic culture.
Okay. Before we go into that, I think I want to also dive into the topic of response to your book.
Yeah.
But before I get that, I just have one thought in my mind that's just playing in the back of my head. A long time ago, if I'm not mistaken, in the 80s or 70s, suicide was not illegal. It wasn't illegal.
Okay.
In fact, there's a movie about it. I can't remember the name of the movie, but I know the antagonist is the main character, the protagonist is played by Al Pacino, where this man, it's a true story, this man actually created clinics where people could go and end their life.
Euthanasia.
Yeah. Euthanasia, whereby somebody has lost hope, and then the process would be that they would have to meet him, go through an interview process, and if he deems that they are actually that they actually have come to the end of their life and they don't want to continue, he would bring them to the clinic, and then through injection, they would die painless. But in the movie, also what happens is one guy comes to him who has been burnt. He basically tried to kill himself by pouring gasoline and then But Al Pacino will reject him, saying that you are depressed actually. So you should go and remedy that. You're not suicide. Your life is still a full life, but you should remedy that. You're not like other people. So in today's world, and keep in mind that was a person who was very rigorous in his ability to filter, very, very straightforward, very strong to filter. But in today's world, where you have a situation where 30% of youth are misidentifying themselves as being gay, right? And all that. When you talk about clinical way of curbing depression, that opens up a can of worms in the sense that you could be prescribing medicine that actually people don't need, who have misrepresented their condition as depression. As you mentioned, there was a lady, earlier you talked about how depression is a word that's overused. It's abused, right? So a person may not necessarily be depressed, but they may think they're depressed because what they see on TV, what they see on movies, what they see on pop culture. And then they may then get prescribed medication that they don't need, which could alter their mental chemistry. Don't you think those things would happen if we are too acceptant to, let's use antidepressants now for the topic of depression?
Okay, there are two schools of thought. Now, most of the common GP today, research based on US, they only check you if you're having depression. 3 minutes, which is very short, usually longer. Physical elements strong. Now, in US, they say antidepressant like Prozac is very cheap, actually very cheap, very helpful. But sometimes initially, because of the panic attack they're having, many things, they're giving the wrong medications like Xanax, all that wrong medication. Supposed to be depression, to be antidepressant. And there could be a situation where a doctor can misdiagnose you also. Where they give you the antidepressant, or they do not give you, they give you something else, which doesn't solve the underlying problem. Because depression got 5 core areas to look at before you're depressed. That means you've been going through something, a very low dark mood for 6 to 1 year. 6 months. So yes, they could be depressed. Actually, it is not depression, you're right. The word had been overused. It could be they're inundated with so much information, they don't know how to process, the deluge of information. Because today the clarity is very hard to find clarity because there's a deluge of information. Because a lot of things are lies on the internet. So the doctor goes there and just give you another antidepressant, which could worsen the situation. Because your microbiome, your body, is a certain microbiome you need to survive, your pre and probiotics. Maybe in a good state, but maybe you're overwhelmed with some situation. We need to cut off that. We need to see what is happening at home. Maybe you're going through because it's too much. Yeah, it's true. If someone watches TV or play with the phone 3-4 hours, that person become like addictive. Maybe the addiction. So it can be misdiagnosed because not every. I was very lucky. A doctor in Subang, she was able to diagnose me clearly because she asked me a few things and they know it was clearly depression. If a doctor was not professional, it might be just given me a simple Xanax or something just to reduce my anxiety. Because depression, you cannot detect. The only thing your body, because it's mental, but if your body will be in a good shape, but only thing, you feel hard, you have pain everywhere. But not any, the pain is everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
It's more physiological, psychological pain.
Yeah, psychological, but it manifested. So the diagnosis must be right, because most doctors today, their mind and body works together. The doctor focus on the physical part. The man of the reason why that person get inundated today could be because the environment, you're right, the parents are not taking care, the diet is not there. Could be a temporary sadness and everything. And not everything it is not easy to straight away say you're depressed, because depression is something that you need to meet certain criteria by a very good professional doctor. So that's why if you antidepressant, you cannot buy over the counter. Over the counter, you cannot buy. So because it is dangerous if you may overuse. They also have serotonin syndrome, too much serotonin. So you have to see, because if your serotonin is okay, you're taking too much, it could be another effect. Because the depletion of serotonin, that's the reason you need to bring up, because everything starts in the stomach and it doesn't fire right. There's a blood-brain barrier. Actually, we need 200, 300 types of enzymes and everything to function optimally, because there's a blood-brain barrier. Everything goes to the brain. They need certain synapses to fire right. But because of the lack of it, that's why you need synthetic help to balance it again, so that you can think straight, because we are just a bunch of chemicals. So getting the diagnosis, prognosis right, you must deal with the right doctor.
Okay. So there is a concern of that, but you're saying you have to deal with the right person. I completely agree. I completely agree, because the medical fraternity is not. They are well aware of abuses as well.
Yeah, correct.
Happen, right?
True.
Okay, so let's go back to this book. Just want to hold it up. Depression is painful. No, sorry. Depression is so painful. Sorry. Now, I want to ask you, what has the response been to this book?
Okay. I published the book myself. Published a book. I didn't work. I got someone to print. I published a book. I got it last year, 31st. 31st of December, I got my first edition.
Why did you go? Sorry, but then why did you choose to publish it yourself and not work with, say, MPH or those kind of things?
At the moment, we were using our EPF and everything. And MPH, if you write all these bookshop, the big bookstores, they will take some time. Yeah? They need time. I had no time. So I got a fantastic the printer, DW Books and Design, Mr. Shoban. So he said, you give me the manuscript. So it took him about 3-4 months to design the book. And so far, I'm almost on many news media and everything. I am currently selling the book on myself. Through my media, through my talks.
Yes, I saw you on Shopee as well. You sell it.
Shopee, yes. But Gerak Budaya might put my book at Gerak Budaya for indie book, and also Popular. I'm Popular say you need to work with their printers and publishers to put the book down there. So I'm looking at most probably next year. But at the same time, I'm looking at Amazon. Amazon also, there's a possibility for me to sell the book. There's a possibility. So I'm doing very granular. I'm more interested to give talk. And also, I also want to talk to underprivileged communities in Malaysia. People who are struggling, the communities, actually B40s and all that. They really suffered. They suffered. So I'm doing on my own, but in the same time, I'm also I want to get my book in the United States, because 7% of US population, 7 or 5% are depressed yearly.
That's a lot of
And
people.
the Americans, they really want to talk about it. So as I'm speaking, I also want to bring my book to all the English-speaking countries.
That's awesome.
So I want to, of course, proud to be a Made in Malaysia book, but at the same time, this book is for as long as everybody is a human being. You really need to read the book, because there are no vaccines. And this age is depression. Now, my third edition, my second edition is already in print. My third edition, I'm going to add more chapters, because some people even approach me to talk about single moms.
Oh, yes.
A policeman talked to me. Dia kata, why don't you add one scammer? Betul satu case. One of the policemen told me, Temerloh somewhere. I met a policeman, nice guy. He told me, that guy got scammed. Online Macau scam. He got scammed 100,000. He committed suicide. 100,000 today is a lot for some people.
Money.
He so panicked. He don't know what to tell. But it's a mistake. You can find the money. But we don't want them to commit suicide. We do not want them to commit suicide. But what to do? He panicked. Maybe he go to society. Society, will what they call, they'll judge you. Example, a girl had why the case anak luar nikah. Kenapa dia buang anak luar nikah? Sebab masyarakat, persepsi masyarakat. Dia sanggup buang anak. Kalau masyarakat tengok human beings, we bound to do mistake. The child is not we
Yeah,
do
I
mistake.
completely same boat with you. I find it disgusting how we treat this topic.
Jesus said, there is no saint without the past, nor sinner with the future. Jesus Christ said that. Jesus always talk about love, empathy, Prophet Muhammad. So is the great Buddha. So now, today, we have taboo. So society make mistake. You know, even even society, if the lady was ill-treated, she will commit suicide, all that. Why we want to do that? Why we want to create this taboo? Because today times have changed. Why not we share and support people? We lack empathy and sympathy. That's why in my book, my experience shows there are no empathy and sympathy. I can talk. I can say, where have sympathy and empathy gone?
Yeah, it's no longer
And my
there.
book also talk about how I felt as a husband, how I felt as a father, how I felt as a man. Just imagine while on project writing this book. So whoever reads the book will resonate. And people who have bought my book, they say, my husband is depressed. They say, thank you, Salim, for writing the book because you represent us.
Yeah.
So many.
And there's no voice representing them.
No, so I said, it can happen to me, a consultant. So what? Nothing to be afraid of. So they feel, the people who have went through depression, the family, they want to buy the book. Salim, come. You're really brave to write. I'm doing this for who? For humanity. Authors cannot become rich, but we are creating this book for awareness. Now, second thing, most important thing is that my message I nak sampai juga. If you notice any of your family members, or brother, sister, or father, or family member, yang tiba-tiba dibuang tabiat. Dibuang tabiat means used to be a very jovial person, now no more jovial.
Okay.
Used to be very proactive guy, no more proactive. Hiding in the room. No more coming out. Diet change, tak terurus. Itu tanda-tanda he's going through some difficult time. Find out what happened. Okay, especially men, job loss is worse. Man is job. That's what happened. Man loses his job, loses everything.
Once we can't provide, then it really kills us.
Father. I met a yoga master. He told me, Salim, it's okay. You went through depression because of the love of your family.
Yeah.
I love my family. I fell in
That's
depression
true.
because I don't know what to do. So if you notice that guy or family member, then you went to try to help. Dia tak buka pintu. Dia ketuk pintu pun tak nak. My suggestion is like that. Panggil polis. Kenapa saya cakap macam tu? Sebab he become violent. Because he's very depressed, he can become very violent. Ask police help to bring him to the nearest hospital. You know why? Because if you don't help, he will kill himself.
Yeah, definitely.
So then my suggestion, very extreme. Worst case, police, minta bantuan polis. And the police will definitely help. Datang bantu, dia tak nak keluar dari bilik. I rasa dia murung. Jangan risau. And what happen if you're alone? Nobody is around you. If you're having suicidal thought, they got suicidal ideation. What is suggestion? Dr. Jordan Peterson say, if you're having suicidal thought, what are suicidal thoughts like that? You already plan what to do. Example, I have a knife down there. Tomorrow I'm going to slice my wrist at 4 p.m. when my family member goes out. Or I have a gun in my room. Tomorrow I'm going to shoot my brains off when nobody's around. If you have that alone, walk to any clinic or hospital. Please help me. I have suicidal thoughts. Tell them that I'm having suicidal thoughts. The doctors knows what to do. It's not your fault. This is what Western countries they talk. Dr. Jordan say, because if you're going to keep quiet, you're going to worry what people say, it's your life.
Okay, so you talked about earlier just now, you were talking about someone had told you that don't write this book and then because then you would never get any job as a consultant. So how has writing this book affected your professional career?
I have my regular customers still call me for mental health talk, for training. They believe in me. They say, you're Salim, now you're an author. You're no longer a normal consultant trainer.
You have a voice.
But, I have a voice and it's okay if people walk out, no problem, because I'm taking a path. When you take a path, a different path where nobody want to follow, it will be ridiculed and criticized. Every idea. Socrates was forced to take poison, if I'm not mistaken. But today Socrates or Plato, he was rejected. But today he's been worshipped. So was Galileo. So was Copernicus. Why? Because I'm going a new path. And my book is for humanity. Why happened to me? Because I read philosophy. And secondly, why of all the people, what happened to me? Maybe it's a game up, it's a plan up there. If there is someone, say, my book out there, is that maybe he wants you to go through this.
To become tougher.
And the best part, why I'm unique, I lived through it. I went through it. I popped the pill. You cannot go and talk to someone who talks about depression. You must ask him. If someone come and tell you, this is the way to handle depression, you must ask the next question. Winner, have you been clinically depressed? Have you popped Prozac or not? If you cannot answer the question, he's giving you a textbook answer. That's why, unfortunately, a lot of books on depression written by doctors, they themselves have not popped the pill.
Okay, so they don't know how it feels like to go
they
to
give you a
remedy.
textbook, but they do not know how it feels. I wrote this book as a layman, for common man, how it feels. How is depression led me? Because if you see articles in US about depression, it's like that. John went through severe depression because he had a surgery.
Okay.
He was depressed for 3 months. Doctor checked he was having low-grade depression, dysthymia, if I'm not mistaken. So he got that. Doctor gave him medication. Within 3 months, it's okay. A simple article. But you never experience what he went there to day to day. The erosion of myself, the humiliation, the sense of loss. This book tells the day-to-day suffering. That's why it's a clarion call. It is serious pain. It's really a pain. That's why I'm championing. There are only 2 things I'm championing in my book. Scientific treatment and yoga. Yoga helped me a lot. Thank God I was reading about yoga from those days. Yoga helped. That's why in my book, there's a chapter given on Vipassana yoga.
Okay.
Vipassana. This is what was taught by Buddha himself, Gautama himself. So, he's the first psychologist, actually, Buddha. was the first.
He's a pioneer.
A pioneer, yeah.
No, on that topic, since you talk about, you say that the 2 things that helped you a lot, and after this, I want to get more personal with you, in the sense that I want to know, let's go into what you went through, on a daily basis during the tough times, right? Because I think a lot of people went through that.
True.
Maybe not similar, but I mean, not the exact thing, but a similar scenario, because that time COVID lockdown was a very, very, very tough moment for a lot of people.
Yes, true.
People lost their business, lost their income, jobs, and all that. Okay, so we'll get into that. But before that, you talk about how scientific treatment and yoga has helped you overcome depression, right? Yeah. Is it fair to say you've overcome depression? Can I say that?
In a way, I still have my dark days, but I know I can function now.
You can function.
I can function. I'm okay. I've overcome it. Yeah, I still have my dark days.
In other words, you have learned to deal with your demons.
Deal with demons. You're right.
Yeah.
And the best part, I know what I'm having, because this is dangerous when you do not know.
Exactly.
So now the Prozac doctor prescribed me 6 months.
Okay.
I took nearly 4.5 months. I was okay.
Then you stopped it.
With the diets and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, so I
then
was
you
okay.
Better.
So I accepted. They call it Amor Fati. As a Stoic, I'm a believer of Stoicism. I said, Amor Fati, accept my faith. Amor Fati, love faith. Stoicism, yeah. So I believe in, so I accept my faith, and I accept this, but the reality imposed on me, so I moved on.
Okay.
The first important thing, that's why you need to know you're having that, your family know. I still tell my wife, I have my dark days. Sometimes I do have my dark days out of nowhere, but manageable.
Okay.
I say it's not me. It's just it will come.
It will come.
Because there is no full recovery from depression. Yeah.
All right. So about that point about you used Prozac, which is a scientific sort of treatment, a medical treatment, and then as well as yoga helped you. One of the things, this is just personal. I just want to know your thoughts on this. Like, for example, why prayer is so important is because prayer enables the mind to go to an alpha state, right? That's why Muslims pray 5 times a day. And at an alpha state, that's when you are able to come up with solutions. You're able to find out the proper problems in your life and all that. For me personally, 2 activities get me into the alpha state. Of course, prayer is there. I am a religious. I wouldn't call myself religious, but I do. I'm a God-fearing man. Okay, let's put it like that. But 2 things that help me get into the alpha state is, of course, working out, which I don't do now because of work, and I have a family, so I that part I am guilty. But another thing
you look good, man. You look fit.
It's the shirt. I'm wearing 2 sizes bigger.
You're very modest.
Very modest. But another thing is washing my car. Washing my car. always makes me calm, and I get the best ideas when I'm washing
Really?
my car. You know,
I hate to wash my car. My wife does it. Okay, tell me about it.
No, so like because washing the car, basically I'm guessing because there is a lot of repetitive actions. So your mind goes into a more subtle state. You know, it's like the Buddhist philosophy of you can only see your reflection once the puddle is calm.
Very well said.
Yeah.
True.
So is depression the method to overcome depression in any individual?
Yeah.
Can it differ? Can it be like you have a different way, I have a different way? Can it be like that?
Very good question. Very important to hear. There is no one way.
Okay.
But when you are depressed, only one way, you need to see a doctor.
Okay.
They will suggest to you antidepressant. But before you fall into depression, your panic attack will be mild. After that, severe panic attacks.
Okay.
You can still do psychotherapy.
Okay.
Talk therapy. But when you're depressed, you first thing need to take scientific. From the scientific point of view, see the doctor. See what the doctor. There are many ways. They can check your blood for certain vitamins you could be lacking.
Okay.
Sometimes can be treated by vitamins B6, B12.
Okay.
That vitamins, magnesium, manganese, zinc. These are the vitamins. They check. If they say you're okay, there could be some temporary situation. Now, when you're confirmed you're having depression, you have to follow the medication religiously because sometimes people give up.
Okay.
Nausea lah, rasa nak muntah, all that. Jangan, memang normal lawyer. Lawyer buruk jangan. Lawyer pasal nak selamatkan nyawa tak apa.
Okay.
Lawyer buruk jangan. So the best so very important.
Yeah,
so grow up watching Seinfeld, man. So so I was there's a many ways, but when you want to recover, yoga can help. What many ways? Alternative. Some people do pranic healing. Some go hiking. I spend a lot of time in nature weekly. I got a place in nature. I spend alone with nature, hugging tree, washing your car, listening to classical music, maybe making a cup of coffee. You have to try many things because what works for you might not work for you.
Yeah.
Now, antidepressant, 80% works for many people, but there are some people treatment-resistant depression.
Wow.
That is worse. They have to go for other treatment. There could be ECT, electroconvulsion.
Okay.
Now, do you know today the Western technology, they dah mula nak legalize ketamine, LSD drug. You know what? Antidepressant will take 4 to 5 months for you, depend on the people. For me, 10 days to 15 days to recover. Ketamine, 24 hours.
Wait,
they call it.
What is ketamine? Ketamine is a...
Ketamine is a psychedelic drug.
Oh, yeah. That's why it's so familiar. Okay.
Because that's why. But the problem is, they want to control it because they misuse. There's a psychedelic drug, it brings you very high.
Okay.
And they have done research today. If you double check, they call it psychedelic and the psilocybin, the magic mushroom.
Okay,
There's something inside the mushroom that's used in the drug. They immediately relieve depression. Within 24 hours, they are doing, but it's infusion.
Okay.
In US, in many countries, it's not legal. But they are testing in ketamine. They call it ketamine treatment. And if you see the report, it works better than antidepressant. Now, technology is coming.
Okay.
They want to end depression soon.
Okay.
There's technology is coming in, but only thing, the drug must be controlled. You go to the clinic, they infuse you.
Okay.
Then you will in a different state. You're in a very high state. And at the end of the day, somehow the chemical, you feel very high. You see you're flying with angel, suddenly you become Superman, Spider-Man. That's normal. Yeah. Under control situation, okay.
Yeah.
But with the doctor, but I don't know about Malaysia. That's why they're looking at that.
Okay.
Looking at that. So if you say it helps you by exercise, if people check up, prayer can help, very good.
Yeah.
But my book focus only one thing.
Okay.
Science.
Okay.
Because the reason why, if I just talk about prayers, there could be my future people who read the book could be atheist.
Of course.
There are people who say, hey, because if you talk about prayer could be a personal thing. But if prayer can help, well and good. If prayer, one lady told me she was praying every day. She had this visitation. She visits to the church every day. No problem. But you're right. Washing the car could be anything. You cannot take one size fits all. You have to look at, after going for treatment, what could your family support? Maybe getting a pet, a dog or a cat. Yeah, you can have a pet can hold, because I don't know what you want to do. There are many ways to do, because we have to bring you back to hedonia. Hedonia means pleasure. Because depression, you have anhedonia. The word hedonist,
Yeah, hedonism.
There is a wrong word to wrongly imply. They say kaki hedonis, kaki enjoy. Yeah, hippie. No.
No, it means okay.
Hedonis means pleasure in life, drinking coffee, talking to you, relationship building, all that lost because of depression. We have to bring you back there. How we do? Many ways: prayer, social interaction, doing some exercise, working on bodybuilding. Many ways you can do. And I agree with you. There is no one way to solve. But scientific treatment must help for depression. But the most important thing, why did you allow that fellow fall into depression?
Okay.
If the family is in the house, happened to him, why you did that? Why did you do that until he fell down? Do you know there's some people, depressed people, something, before they commit suicide, they were called to some people. Sometimes they don't want to talk to people inside, their family. They try to call outside. That's why, like you raised the question earlier, relationship. I called Gobi, but I also called some of my relatives. You know what the relative told me? One of my relatives, sorry, I'm busy going to work. You just imagine, after that, if I committed suicide, you can go to work, but I call you, because when you are depressed, you're no longer yourself. You just want to talk. Dia macam, I kacau dia. Kalau saya orang call saya, Salim, apa ni, saya susah ni. Saya dah nak cakap, tak apa, saya nak pergi kerja, nanti saya sampai office, saya call you. Dia sampai sekarang tak call I. Relative tau. Kadang-kadang kawan kita lebih kita percaya, tuan-tuan. So that's why I said in a book, I said blood is no longer thicker than water now. Because sometimes parents, I showed to me, his family, he became a family man. Look at that, one of the most handsome men. One of the most handsome man is you.
I don't know.
One of the most handsome men.
Please,
No. So the issue is that my near-death experience, the family must support.
I think also one thing that could have been caused by is also like what you're talking about, stigma. There is a stigma towards this issue.
Yeah.
And people tend to downplay this issue very.
Downplay, yes.
Yeah,
that's why dangerous.
They're dangerous, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so I guess that's why when you call people say, it's just a bad day.
Yeah,
why are you talking so much about depression and all that? I think that also limits the acceptance of this.
Correct.
Yeah, because I think people, like if I wanted to talk it out to someone, hey, I'm feeling a bit down, I'm feeling depressed, I would be worrying about their response.
Yes, correct.
Right,
correct,
so
correct.
that's an issue.
Yeah.
Now, I want to get into, again, speaking of people responding to you.
Yeah.
You are trying. I mean, you are selling this book, and I know you've come on a lot of news, Free Malaysia Today, The Sun, and so on and so forth. TV and all you've come on. I think on Astro as well, right?
Astro, no. I mean, Selamat Pagi Malaysia.
Selamat Pagi Malaysia. Selamat Pagi Malaysia, and all this. So you are.
I hope Astro soon.
Oh, definitely. Amin. Future.
Yeah.
What was the response of your family, your wife and your daughter, when because you told me that you were just saying how they actually didn't know you were writing this book.
Yes, true.
When they read this book, what were their thoughts?
You see, when the manuscript, when I was writing the book 1 year, 3 months, I didn't tell them. So the manuscript was ready. Finally, when I was start looking for the printer, the guy who because you had to design the book, right?
Yeah.
So I just made it on a Google form, all that, the chapters and everything, with script, typed in. So you need to fit into photo. You can see a lot of work here, photo and designing, because patent issue, certain photos belongs to someone. So I didn't tell them. So finally, when the book was, I was looking for some people. I managed to get the person who designed my book, DW Books. What happened was that when the first mock-up was ready, this book was the 5th version before it was finalized, because we had to check for error, grammatical error, design.
Of course.
I thought it was easy, not easy to write a book. So I showed them the mock-up, and they were surprised.
Okay.
They were surprised, and my wife says, okay, she read my book. My daughter was shocked. Also, what's the book about? I said, I just tell my story. So she was shocked, but she said, it is a new course now. It is a new path you have taken. So I told my wife, I think this is what I'm gonna do. This is a new path. Let's help people. But she was shocked the book was ready, because when I was meeting Gobi and everything, all that, we meet, but at the same time, he was my first person who edited the book.
Okay.
Took him 6 hours.
Okay.
Over a cup of coffee. He edited everything. So I said, I have to do it, because I know, because if I rely on training, it's not going to come. There are many excuses. So it kept me going. So it was a good, overwhelming support from my family. Yeah. So many were shocked. They couldn't believe that I've written a book. But many might be thinking also, now you have told everything, because I can say I'm very honest because I told everything how I felt from before to everything. That means kata orang dia betul-betul transparent tau. So that means if somebody want to say I lie, it's wrong because Gobi is there, my wife was there, the doctor was there, and the proof is there. This cannot be a book of lies. This is real story. So that means I can say I'm a very transparent person because I want to share for humanity because I read philosophy.
Okay.
So it was, there are some of people I knew, they disappeared.
Okay.
Because when they heard, dia tulis buku ni. Dia tulis buku ni, habis lah. Habis. So what? I'm still breathing, I'm here. And you call me, man. You call me here, I'm here on...
definitely.
Vinod's Good Cast show, man.
Hey, thank you for
coming. Come on, man.
Yeah.
So, this is... Benda ni penting.
Okay.
Benda penting. So, I said, I have to be brave because I'm going a new path. But I already have my vision. Just imagine writing the book, strategizing it alone. And Gobi is my number one motivator that time. So, I have big plans for my book. I'm not going to stop. My aim to go to US and Canada to talk about this book. But if I can do it in Malaysia first, which Malaysia honestly is saying, many of the people I've talked to, they just ignore. They don't want to talk about it. So it's quite sad. And you are here. So I appreciate. But many Malaysians are ignoring.
I think one thing I would like to suggest to you, maybe you can think about it, is I think they are called Majlis Buku Kebangsaan Malaysia.
Okay.
Okay, they have a program where they take local titles and try to sell it to sell the rights to foreign, like in Europe and all that. Perhaps you should get in touch with them because this kind of this topic, definitely like what you said, in the Western world is a big deal. Yes, it's very well embraced and very well studied and all that. So that's one thing we can look at.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think that because I've spoken to the person who does that and I was like, oh, that's because I too share your ambition, but you have accomplished it, so it's very inspiring.
Thank you so much.
I also want to be an author. Soon, inshallah.
But my like you interview so many people. You come up with a book where all your interviews, the gist of it, you write.
That's one thing. Like a transcript.
What can you learn? And you combine it with the conclusion and say, what's the message here?
Yeah.
Look at that. I can share my idea offline.
Please. Let's talk more.
But writing a book takes some time. But don't rush. You want to write a good book, takes some time. But you see, your book is, my book was a painful book. I never thought I would be an author. If you asked me in 2019, I never thought. In 2020, but it happened because it just happened. So
no, it's a very inspiring story in the sense that how you took a time of tragedy and strife and
reinventing myself
and turned it into a positive. I think that's something that is something that I hope a lot of people do. This one thing. See, you are part. If life is a bell-shaped curve, right? You are on the other side where you went through this very tough time. You took all those things you went through and then came up with a book.
Correct.
And who knows what the future holds? You know what I mean?
Thank you.
As you want to go to Canada, go to the US. I mean, I'm sure it'll be accepted very, very well there. But there are people as well, and maybe you could share your advice to them before we come to the end of this. There are people whom I've met who are in ruts in their life, who are in the similar position. Maybe I wouldn't say depressed, but maybe they are, some of them maybe they have issues with their physical appearance. Maybe they are overweight and they hate the way they look, or anything. They are just not happy with where they are in life right now. A lot of people I've met, even though I've tried to talk to them, I realize that it's like, as to quote my wife, who says it's like playing classical music to a bunch of cows.
Oh, I understood.
You know what I mean? Whatever you say just falls on deaf ears.
Like talking to the wall.
Talking to the wall, right?
So,
what do you tell to them? What do you say to a person who is currently in a rut and maybe how do you get out of it?
See, it's true. It's what I learned also. The best advice is not to give advice sometimes. But you see, a lot of people, why they are still in the rut, many reasons they refuse to listen to that. They can listen to advice, but at the end, it goes to them. Like for me, when I collapsed also, I was down. But I decided that at the end of the day, you have to decide what you want in life. People around you can give advice. When they come and give advice, accept the advice, but respond back and say, actually, this is how I feel. This is actually what I want. Be honest. Maybe you're not happy with your body. Maybe you want to lose weight. You want to have 6 packs. 6 packs. You want to have whatever you want to do. But you're in the rut. before you were in a rut, you were not in the rut. Maybe you're in a good situation.
Yeah.
Why you felt? If you can fall into a rut, you can still come out, because you must understand the human being. The will to survive is very important. We have the will as a species. We have the will to survive. So you have to find meaning. If you're not happy your life, you can change. That's why I always tell the sunflower needs 6 hours of sun every day. It has no choice. No sunflower needs. A cow or a goat needs only herbs to eat, vegetarian food, correct? Grass.
Yeah.
A lion will only eat meat. You tell the lion, hey, some Caesar salad with crotons and eggs. Parlez, bon appétit, monsieur. He said, no, je ne sais pas, problème. I want meat. I want meat.
Okay.
But the human being got a choice to eat meat or vegetable.
Okay.
We have a choice. We wake up in the morning. So if you're in a rut, ask yourself, why are you in a rut? So you have to see. There are some people you cannot advise. No matter how much you try, they will never listen. Because at the end of the day, our visions cannot be the same. Our visions must be right. That's why it's very hard to build a team. To get the right team, you need the right vision. There's a lot of team distinguished, like football teams. Why some teams with so many players, they don't do well? Because the vision is different. Because you and I can see different things. You know, vision is something beyond. So to get them up, they have to play a part. The only thing that I can suggest is that I want to help you. I don't like to see you in this situation. But you have to meet me halfway and tell me what are your feelings, what you really want. Come clean. Come clean. That's the only way you can help. This is how Gobi helped me. He said, Salim, he told me training is not coming. They're not even picking up. They're giving excuses. You know what they told me? Soft skills are not important. Soft skills are the hard skills of the future. Dr. Yuval said, Salim, you have no choice. You have no other choice to keep yourself write the book. So I kept writing the book. So we have to find meaning. We have to find meaning. And first thing first, there are a lot of people out there to help you. But are you willing to be helped? But some people cannot be helped. They don't want to be helped.
Yeah,
then it's just too bad. You have to have a way to come out of the rut because you have the capability. You must, at the end, believe in yourself. That's my advice.
That's very amazing advice and very true. You must believe in yourself.
Yes,
otherwise,
first thing.
That's the true. Yeah. If you don't buy yourself, nobody else will.
Yes. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe.
So we've come to the end, but it's been amazing. Very amazing talking to you.
Thank you, Vinod.
I wish we could talk longer. I think we've about an hour 15. I think we have. Otherwise, he may charge me way more. I won't be able to afford it.
No. Pleasure. Up to you. No problem. I'm here. I'm so excited. To be here, Vinod.
But I just want to end it on a note by you. Some words from you is if I buy this book, and sorry, where can I buy this book?
You can contact me. Contact me directly. At the moment.
No, but online, is there anything?
At the moment, you can get it at Shopee.
Which shop? What's the name of the shop?
Shopee, Tokosu.
Tokosu.
But they also can get it directly from me.
From you, yeah? Okay,
I think my email is behind, or maybe I can give you my phone.
Yeah, please do. And then I'll also have a link to your social media on the video posting so you can buy. But just give us a description of what would I get after reading this book.
Okay. The most important thing about this book, when you read the book, if you have a family member going through the misfortunes of life, can lead to depression. Losses leads to depression. You are able to understand what is going through, number one. Second thing you can learn also, you can have better empathy and sympathy. What goes around you. Third thing you must also understand if you're reading the book is that what is depression? How painful is depression? What are the signs of severe depression? What can cause depression? And what are the treatments available for depression when you read my book? Now, though Prozac saved my life, I'm not telling you to go and buy Prozac from the black market and everything. See a doctor. Prozac worked for me, but not work for you. Might not work for you. Different people, different chemistry, composition. So when you read my book, you have a better understanding about the most underrated epidemic we have today in the world, which is depression. And if you think you don't need to know my book, you must understand there are no vaccines for depression. Nobody is immune. According to Dr. Jordan Peterson, every one of us, before end of our lives, we will go through one episode of severe depression. One episode, highest probability. So if you think you're covered, you are wrong. So my advice is that learn about depression, because it might not happen to you, might happen to someone, a family member, anyone. Someone could be homeless, someone is lying on a hospital bed in a terminal situation. What can you do? What can you help? Because as long as you don't understand depression, you will say words like this: have faith, it's okay, be a man, be strong. You know, God loves you, God is taking care of you. You know, you shouldn't talk about it, do something, cannot. The depression is what are the words you should talk to? What should you say to a depressed person is inside my book. That means, wow, what I can tell is what Gobinathan did for me is that he just listened. He listened, then he will, even his messages throughout the years that he sent me are very careful messages. What I do, what did it tell me to look forward, all that. So this book will help you to understand depression better so that you can help save lives around you and in your community. Yeah,
perfect
if I can
way.
say, yeah.
Perfect way to end this. So there you go, folks. Please get this book by Mr. Salim. Depression is so painful. You can get it from Shopee. We will be placing his contact details in the description of this video. So please contact him and get your copy of Depression is So Painful. I will certainly be getting mine. And I look forward on the house. My goodness.
On the house.
Awesome. Signed, I hope.
Yes,
is it signed?
Yes.
Thank
Of
you.
course.
That'd be awesome. Thank you so much. But yeah, so please have a look at it. I can't wait to read it. So thank you so much, Salim, for being here.
My pleasure.
And thank you guys for watching. We'll see you all soon again next week. Take care, guys.